This week, we're going to start talking about investing. And investing your money is a little bit different from saving your money in that when you save your money, you're hoping to hold on to your money. So if I put $1,000 into a savings account, I want to be able to come back a year from now and that $1,000 is still going to be there so that I can buy whatever I wanted to buy. Um, you get a little bit of interest in exchange for having your money in that savings account. But if it was just 0.1% interest, which is fairly typical, those of you who did that study of what banks offered as interest on savings accounts, 0.1% is pretty typical for a traditional brick and mortar bank. So that $1,000 will give you $1 of interest for an entire year. And that's kind of the way we are at this point in history. For various reasons, banks can borrow money from the government for free. So they don't need your money very much. So they don't need to give you so much incentive for you to save money in a savings account. So we want to find ways to make our money grow. And we might put our money at a little bit of risk for that. So that's what investing is about. Investing means I'm taking on a certain amount of risk, but I'm hoping that my money is going to grow faster. Okay. And there are two general ways that people invest. There are plenty and plenty of ways, but there are two we're going to focus on in this unit. One is buying stocks, and another is buying bonds. There are lots of other ways you can invest. You can buy real estate, you can buy commodities, you can trade in Bitcoin, you can buy fancy artwork or baseball cards, anything that you're buying, hoping that it's going to grow, but realizing that you might lose money. That's all called investing. There's a certain amount, I should say, where if you're taking on a ton of risk, so that you're hoping that you make a huge amount of money, but realizing that you might also lose a huge amount of money, that's called speculating. So for instance, if you've ever heard of day traders, so those are people who make really quick plays in the stock market. They might buy a stock at 11 o'clock in the morning and they'll have sold it by 1 o'clock in the afternoon. And so they either make huge money or they lose huge money. And so that's really much closer to gambling with your money than investing. The investing picture, the metaphor somebody gave me once about it that I really appreciated is it's like, imagine somebody who's playing with a yo-yo. So the yo-yo is going up and down in their hands as they're playing with it, and they're walking up a hill. So think about what the yo-yo is doing. What is the yo-yo's height over time? And so the graph is going to look something like this. All right, so the yo-yo is going up and down, but as you're climbing the hill, the altitude of the hill really makes a lot more difference than what the yo-yo is doing. So even the worst day of the stock market this far down the road is better than the best day you had at the beginning of your trip, because over the long term, the stock market and the bond market both gain money. And so as long as you can control risks like that by keeping your money in the stock market for a long time, like I'm talking about at least 5 years, but maybe as much as 20 or 30 years, you are pretty much guaranteed a stable rate of return. But it takes that discipline of putting your money away for that long into the future. So in these videos, we're going to talk about what stocks and bonds are. We're going to talk a little bit about how you might make money with stocks and bonds. And over the long term, we're going to talk about how you actually buy them and participate in the market, especially as part of your retirement plan.